What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Good Wolf Project. This is Jerry Scarlato. I'm here with the Cassie Ray, who, by the way, has copied me by wearing similar colored clothes. But we're not going to point. We're not going to point that out.
And dark colored shorts.
We're not going to point that out. Yeah, this is the only time this has ever happened.
We never wear the same things.
Never.
Ever.
Same shirt, bottom, shoes. That's
definitely don't wear the same pair of shoes.
No.
Matching shoes.
Never. Not at every workout. Always.
And no one notices either.
I know. Every once in a while somebody does, and they're like, "You guys have the same shoes on yet?" Yeah. Like always have the same shoes on.
Luckily, mine have a hole in them, so they're easy distinguishable.
Yeah, that is a bonus. Good minds think alike.
Yep.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about what I would argue is... So there are two, in my mind, there are two big causes of disease. There's 1A and 1B, because I think they're pretty damn equal.
Okay.
What's 1A that we're not talking about today? You can guess, and it's you're going to guess.
That we're not talking about today?
That we're not going to talk about today. So if 1B is what we're talking about today, what's 1A?
Eating?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So 1A is what you can define as an ultra processed diet.
Okay.
1B is sedentary, being sedentary. That's 1B. So what sparked this conversation is an article that Cassie found by Michael Easter, who has two fantastic books out there, both of which I highly recommend. Have you read either one?
Mm-mm.
No, you just heard them on
podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One is The Comfort Crisis, which I highly recommend, which a lot of what we'll talk about today will revolve around that conversation. The second one is Scarcity Brain, which I have talked about before on the podcast. I don't remember when that was, last year sometime. That one's of a different nature, which maybe we'll talk about at some other point. But nonetheless, if you want to set the stage by talking about where you saw this, and then we can kind of dive in from there, because I think this goes, again, to kind of a deeper conversation as to how most people live their lives in general, a lot of which is tied back to my conversation with Kyle, but we'll get to that in a second. So where'd you come up with this one?
So I get emails from him. Some of them he posts like his full blog. Other ones you can sign up and get his like full access and stuff like this. So this one was, he actually posts the full blog. I can't remember, he was having a discussion with somebody. But the title of it was the reason, I opened all of them, but was the reason I was like, I never really thought of it that way in all the years that I've been active and lived in an active family and all that stuff, is exercise medicine or is inactivity poison? And a lot of people have heard exercise is medicine, and that's how, when they really started studying exercise and how that actually affected people, they talk about in there, the people that they're actually doing those studies on are people that are probably either ill or very obese or have all these metabolic conditions. They're already kind of if
it's anybody in America, then that's who they're studying.
Right.
Is what you just described there.
Yeah. So again, another thing you didn't really think about, exercise is important and moving is important and all of that stuff. And you look at all these studies that they do it on, but they're rarely doing them on already fit or fairly active people, because at that point you're not really getting the grandeur results that you would see, which, a lot of studies are like that. They're probably going to study somebody or something that is already the worst case scenario and then give them something, and then they'll see, these grandeur improvements, right?
Yep.
So that's a big part of studies in general. But yeah, exercise medicine, I've heard that forever. I've been very active my entire life. Thank you to my family for that. And then just the lifestyle that I live and the profession I work in. But yeah, I just never really thought of it the other way. It always was focused on exercise, but the big thing they were saying is exercise is medicine. Is it that, or should we be more focused on just the inactivity in general Because again, for the people that may be highly fit, are those people just, they found the magic workout that they do 3 days a week and they're just like super fit? Or are there other things that those people are doing that we just don't really notice, and we just think it's like, oh, like for us or Steph and Kyle, like, oh, they work out all the time. Okay, we do and we enjoy it, but reality, we're working out for maybe an hour at the most a day, maybe.
Yeah.
And sometimes those workouts are a walk or something like that, but for the rest of the time, Steph and I work in athletics, so we're constantly on our feet walking around. Kyle's a personal trainer, so he's always walking around.
I'm the laziest of the. There's a reason you didn't throw Jerry in there too, because Jerry is a bad example of the rest of it. I used to fit.
But you are a good example with regards to, you work at a desk now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But every hour you have a standing desk, so you can raise and you're constantly, I feel like every 20 minutes, if you're on the phone, you're walking around, even if it's just in the apartment. But like even just that is something small that I feel like people don't realize the magnitude that can have an effect on what you're doing. So anyway, is exercise medicine or is inactivity? He used the word poison, which is kind of fitting and aggressive. Yeah. But so we pretty much, the goal for today is just kind of talk about that concept and what we think about that. So
what was your initial, when you first read it, what was your initial thought? Do you remember? When you just read the title.
Oh, I think I just was
thrown off by the title.
But also just then I guess one poison, I was like, that's a little aggressive. But then I also just thought like, okay, yeah, exercise is medicine, and motion is lotion and all of that stuff, which is true. But you really just don't ever think about the inactivity being the source of why people are sick. You're always like, well, you don't exercise or you don't do this and this and this, but you just living the sedentary lifestyle is maybe just something that you could change, even if you didn't. We always recommend working out and strength training and stuff, but we always say like adding strength training in even a couple times a week for 15 to 20 minutes can be huge if you're doing all of this other stuff. Because if you're only doing that, then are you just bringing yourself back to baseline? Maybe. Or what is baseline? Or are you actually improving your health? Mm-hmm. So I think that was the other thing they talked about, like exercise is medicine. Is it bringing you back to what would be always the baseline? Or are you actually improving upon your health? Or you just always kind of bring yourself back to this like meh level?
So this is that's very interesting now that I'm like plugging it through my head.
Yeah.
But it's something that of course we can almost never actually measure. So the way that I think about how you could actually answer that question is if you took the baseline and then you took a cohort of it and made them sedentary and took a cohort of it and made them more active, and you saw which one had a more progressive outcome, meaning the sedentary group, how much faster did they become diseased versus the exercise group. Now, it would have to be a long-term study, like years. Yeah, it'd have to be years that you'd have to do something like that. My first reaction is that, because again, I look at things from a net outcome standpoint, which one has the higher net. If you did that, my general first instant gut feeling is sedentary is definitely the disease. Like that's definitely has the higher impact. Not by magnitudes, I don't think, but being sedentary is so like detrimental to our bodies, and it is so obvious with the way that society is right now that our standard as a society has lowered so much that just getting 150 minutes of moderate exercise, which is the recommended dose, right?
Yeah.
Just getting 150 minutes of recommended exercise, like that is the standard of health now, quote unquote.
Right. But we were just saying only about 5 to 10%, and 10 being generous, we think,
of
Americans are doing that, which again, 150 minutes, it's not, and I think, and that's even it says like moderate intensity. Mm-hmm. So how many hours are there in a week? 3?
A number. 164,
Okay.
I think. Something that 168 maybe.
Yeah.
Something to that effect.
Okay.
Almost 170 hours in a week.
Yeah.
So 150 minutes is 2.5 hours, which is not many of 170
Right.
or 160, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not many.
Right.
So nonetheless, again, like that standard has lowered so much. And that's probably being generous that 10% of people do it. I used to know these statistics. So of people who have gym memberships, if you take the whole gamut of people who have gym memberships, the average show up rate for the whole picture of a person that has a gym membership is like twice a month or something like that. If you actually say, okay, well, these people are at least coming once a week, then what is that average? And that is twice a week. Like the average person goes about twice a week if they're at least going once a week. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So, but that again is a small percentage of the number of people who have gym memberships.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And what are they doing at the gym?
Well, that's another question. How long are they there? And
is that swipe in to swipe out?
Yeah. Like you've just shown up to Planet Fitness to get your piece of pizza for the day or your Tootsie Roll. Like, is that why you went to the gym? But no, I truly believe that living a sedentary lifestyle is one of the most detrimental things that you can do. And because the way that our society has been set up as of recently, it's super challenging, of course, to overcome that. Again, I can attest to this because I was on the gym floor for, toward the last 5 years I had the business. I was probably only on there for maybe 15 hours a week or something like that, 12 hours a week. It wasn't a whole lot, but I was there all the time and I was walking around all the time. Like I was with people all the time. I was on the floor, like still pretty damn often. So since I have gotten out of the gym the last 10 years or last 2 years and been more in front of a desk, and I would say especially the last 6 to 9 months since I've been more in front of the desk, like I can tell that certainly my energy level has kind of like dissipated a little bit. Like it's definitely come down a little bit. And I've had like hip issue, my hips have been stiff for a long time, but I know that that's part of the reason why I have trouble more so now than I did a couple of years ago, because I'm not as active. I'm not moving as much, even though I still do set a timer for 25 minutes and move and do some level of mobility routine or something to that effect. Like if I'm on the phone, I'm up and I'm talking, I'm walking around or doing whatever. So I can definitely feel for me, and this is coming from somebody who we train 6 days a week. We take Wednesdays off. So we train 6 days a week, and it's usually at least 45 to 50 minutes. Actually, most of our workouts are at least an hour, I would say.
Yeah.
Probably Sunday is the shortest one.
Yeah.
Sunday and Saturday are weekend workouts are the shortest. So, I can definitely tell a huge difference. So that, I think the question that people would ask then is, well, if I am supposed to be like so active, so you're telling me that if I can't train 5 days a week or 6 days a week and figure out how to be so active, then I just shouldn't try at all. Like that's what I hear in my mind right now, right? Like that's what I hear people just constantly saying. What would you say to that person?
If they're starting from nothing, then I would say something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
But I think, too, we were talking about when people think about exercise, they're only thinking about that small chunk of time in the gym. So they're like, oh, well, I work out. But the whole point of essentially this conversation is just because you work out for a half hour doesn't mean that's not going to negate all the sitting that you're doing, maybe at your desk job, the foods that you're eating, and all of that. So I think and you're going to talk about NEAT here in a little bit, those people think just like with diet, like trying to change all of that stuff at once is just not going to happen. Be like, all right. So the people, when you present, hey, you need to be active 150 minutes, and every hour you need to get up and walk for 10 minutes and all this stuff, it's going to just seem so overwhelming to somebody that they're going to say, well, no, I'm just not going to do any of that. Or,
Sure.
No, I'm just going to stick with my 20-minute routine. And that's great. That's 20 minutes more than the person that's not doing the 20-minute workout.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier to approach those people and explain it just like we're saying. Think about all of the time that you're sitting and working out at that point. Now I'm talking out loud, thinking about it. It's more of just like we enjoy working out and training and things like that. But training at this point, because we're not training for sports anymore. We're essentially just training to be fit and because it's fun and we enjoy strength training and stuff. And I think at this point, strength training for us is just that.
Yeah.
It's fun and it keeps us in shape. But at the same time, like we don't go to the workout and we're like, okay, we got to get these numbers because we're going to do X, Y, and Z and all of that stuff. And just like you said, when now you're not using your watch to track stuff, you were just enjoying it again. Doesn't feel like something that I have to do. And I think that's what a lot of people run into too is, well, my doctor said I have to do this. And half the battle is, okay, they're doing that exercise, but if you're not enjoying it and you're not there, you're probably not getting that much out of it anyway. Because all the stress about going to work out and all that stuff is probably just also negating the benefit of what you're doing, which all sounds really crazy. But I just think the day-to-day, people always say, like, park further away from the door so you have to walk or take the stairs, not the elevator. All that stuff matters. And that's what the point of what we're trying to say is exercise is great, and we're always going to be proponents of strength training and working that into your routine, but how you can be more efficient every hour and sprinkling in the activity is what's going to make the biggest difference. I think you said at the beginning of this, it's the amount, what are you going to get your biggest bang for your buck? So being active throughout the day is probably going to give you more than going to the gym 30 minutes 3 times a week, really. Even if it's not super intense.
Yeah.
But it all accumulates.
Yep.
So I guess what I would tell that person is find something you enjoy, but also understand that just because you're going to the gym doesn't mean that it's going to negate all of the other things that you're not doing or that you are choosing not to change. But little by little, it will make a difference.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So old me would have the same approach, but new me has a very different approach. Because I have dealt with enough people that for lack of a better way to put it, my patience just runs thin for that kind of shit anymore. And so, and just like looking at society anymore and the amount, and look, this is, I think you understand this. This is coming from a person that I believe I'm a pretty empathetic person. Like I'm rather empathetic, probably to a fault sometimes, like to a degree. And yet,
hold on, everybody. It's about to get real. These have seatbelts.
Should we buckle up? And yet, the shit that people complain about, the amount that people just, it's just too hard to do this, and changing my diet is just so tough, and exercise, but my schedule, it's just so challenging, and this, that, and the other thing. And again, everyone's day is different. I totally get that. And yet there is an average. I can look at the average person, and that is most people. If you are listening to this, you're probably that person. Like, I hate to tell you, you fit in the mean. You fit in the average. I can tell you what your day looks like, not because I sit in your day, not because I know who you are. I might know who you are, but because I have worked with enough people to know what the average person does. And yes, you're probably busy to a degree. You probably have things that you do to a degree, but probably most of the things that not most, enough of the things that you do maybe is a way to put it. Enough of the things that you do, you don't need to do, and you probably shouldn't do, and are wasting your damn time and are doing the opposite effect, causing you to be more sedentary, causing you to be dumber, causing you to be more ignorant, causing you to be all these other things that are the opposite of what you keep telling yourself you want to do. I want to be healthier. I want to be more fit. I want to be more active. I want to do this. Okay, I'm 100% positive you can figure out a way to make it happen. But people are so damn just caught up in feeling bad for themselves that they won't take the time to just figure it out. Just figure the shit out. Just take some time and sit down and go, okay, I can stay off of my phone for this hour because damn, look at my phone time. I spent how much? 5 hours on my phone today? The average person spends 3 hours on their phone. 3 hours. The average person. The average person spends another like 2 hours watching TV. Something like that. That's 5 hours we've just found. I just found it for you. So I want to be empathetic, but it just gets to the point where it's like, I can't be anymore. Not that I want to be an asshole about it, but it's like, no, here's what you need to do. And you need to start it Monday. And you just need to decide, I'm just going to change. I'm just going to do it. But it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Guess what? Life is hard. Like, life's hard. And I have actually found, because again, at the gym, we did this pretty regularly, and it worked to a degree. But like the small habits thing, like changing small things at a time, and so on and so forth, like, fine. It can work a little bit. But I can tell you when I've changed the most is when I've
full send.
Oh yeah, I'm going. This is what we're doing. All right, this is what we're doing. Let's do it. Well, Jerry, I don't have willpower. Well, Jerry, I don't have discipline. Well, Jerry, I don't have this. Well, Jerry, I don't have that. If you want to keep telling yourself that, then you're damn right that you're not going to have it. Because that's all that you have been used to doing is telling yourself that I don't have the discipline to make it happen, and I don't have the willpower to make it happen, and I can't overcome that bag of chips, and I can't walk away from a piece of cake, and I can't blah, 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 blah. I can't get myself to go to the gym. Okay, you've told yourself so many times that you just won't do it. Quit telling yourself you can't do it. Stop convincing yourself that you're a piece of shit, which is basically what you're doing, and just do it. Where were we? It's like, that's it. Like you hear it enough times that it's just like the values of Got Your Six: strength, discipline, and camaraderie. Have the strength to work through your discomfort. Have the mental strength to push through it. Have the emotional strength to overcome the feeling of I don't want to do it. Because every human being, myself, you, Kyle, Steph, every human being has the feeling I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it today. I had that feeling yesterday when we were running. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But I was there with you, camaraderie. I was there with you. And so I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because I have the discipline to just go ahead and do it. Mm. So, yeah, just decide to do it and then just do it. Mm. So, what was I supposed to talk about?
Meat.
Oh, yeah.
That was good, though. I know you're passionate about it, so you can say it. Sometimes you just gotta let it flow.
Well,
because I know you care about the people that you're talking about.
That's the thing, and
that's why you get so worked up about it. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
My athletes will probably be the first people to say this. When I start saying something, I'm like, I'm only trying to talk about it for 30 seconds, and then I just start going, and I'm like, anyway, I guess we should start the workout now. Uh-huh. But they can see, because sometimes I literally start tear up. Yeah. And it's not because I'm sad. I just want that for that person so badly. Mm-hmm. And I want them to understand that exactly what you're saying. You can do it. You just have to put your mind to it. And again, I can say this all day and understand that I grew up with somebody that instilled that very young in me, especially when it comes to the physical activity and eating well. So I'm very fortunate in that regard. But as you get older, you make the choice. You can make those choices. And like you said, it's not easy, but when you surround yourself with people that either have those same values or same habits or whatever, and they want that for you as well. So there's a shared care there and support system. It can be one person or it can be a whole team. I'm doing a lot of this with my softball team right now. They have a fall where they need to lean on each other and essentially coach themselves. And it's just a unique situation. But I think if they can see it as not a scary thing or not something that's going to put them out of place, it's actually going to make them stronger in the long run, then it's going to be huge for that team. And, there's different pieces to that. It's not just exercise and whatever, but that same sort of network of teamwork and understanding that you just you just got to care for yourself and then care for the other people. And then that support system in itself will make it easier because you're all struggling together. You're all succeeding together.
Facts. Well, yeah, you're getting worked up right now. That's the irony of the whole thing, is that that's what people don't see, is that because it is a damn hard pill to swallow. But the reason that you're not putting the effort in is because you don't give a shit enough about yourself to actually do it. Like, you don't think you're worth it.
Yeah.
Huh? Like, that's essentially what it comes down to. Well, no, it's just because I'm busy. Okay, look your ass in the mirror. Like, literally stare in the mirror and tell yourself that. I'm not working out because I'm just busy. And just stand there for a second and stare at yourself and see what happens. I would be willing to bet you start getting chills up your spine, and probably you start feeling a little emotional, because that is bullshit. You just don't think that you're worth it. And that's the frustrating part about people like you and me, is that, and this is one of the hardest things as a coach. Like, coach can't work harder than the client, but damned if we don't try. Damned if we don't try to work harder than them, because so many people don't believe in themselves and don't think that they're worth it, that somebody has to. Like, somebody has to. So go find that person that believes in you more than you do, and then cling to them like your life depends on it, and then listen to everything that they say, probably. But like, it starts with recognizing you're the person getting in your own way, and it's because you don't think you're worth the effort of going and working out more often, and getting up and moving more often, and eating better, and all of these things that we're talking about, getting yourself out of the disease state that you're in. It's because you just don't believe that you are worth the effort. Like, bottom line, full stop. Not easy to convince somebody otherwise. But until you recognize that that's the case, it may just continue to be a whirlwind. That's why so many people start and stop. They see a little progress, and then it kind of slows down. They're like, no, I'm not going to do this. I got something else. Oh, something popped up. Something happened. Whatever. It's just because you don't think, you're like, all these other things are worth your attention, but putting effort on yourself is not worth your attention.
Yeah.
Like, when it's put that way, does that open your eyes at all? Right?
Yeah.
So it's not an easy one. I'll eventually got to recognize it, though.
I mean, I feel like most of that, like you were saying, clinging on to somebody, there's a big chunk of me that wasn't confident in things that I was doing until I met you. And then somehow, all of a sudden, you thought I could do all of these things. I was like, I don't know. He's like, no, literally, you've done all of these things. I'm like, I don't know.
Are you sure? Yeah. Yes, you built 2 gyms for people. We've talked about this multiple times on this podcast. 2 gyms. You told me about another thing you did just yesterday.
So exercise for me has always just been, that's the one thing I've been able to control and manipulate and be successful at, because I've always been fortunate enough that I could push myself. I never needed anybody else to externally push me when it came to exercise and physical fitness and all of that stuff. But the other piece of my life, I still showed up and showed discipline and worked my butt off, but the actual confidence I had in myself with regards to how I look or the work that I'm putting out, I know it's good, but I still just kind of like, I feel like it's maybe could be better, and not really understanding or seeing, my worth in pieces of my life. But it's always been there. I just never really cared to look, I guess. So, finding somebody that supports you in what you're doing and actually sees your potential more than you even think you could is huge. And that can be somebody you're in a relationship with, that can be a friend, that can be a teammate, that can be a parent, but it makes a difference. And maybe it's more than one person, which is great. I have a handful of people in my life that will always constantly support me and my ideas. So I'm lucky with that regard. But it's, I also just never had those conversations, which I think is another piece. I always knew they would support me, but I never openly asked them about certain things or had those conversations because those are uncomfortable and made me cry, and I hate crying and all that stuff. So I think that's another huge piece. Like the conversations I'm having now with the same people I've known for 15, 20, however many years it's like I'm talking to a whole different person because I'm actually talking to them and not just either listening to them converse or having them lead the conversation. Like I feel like even that I'm giving more to the conversation because I am starting to care more about how I'm feeling, what I think about certain things, and asking their genuine opinion on it, and then making decisions or choosing different things based on what they think and feel, and then making a decision from that. So, it's interesting how just that little switch can make like a huge difference. But like he's saying, it's your choice to do that. But telling yourself that you're not going to do it is not helping. Or that you'll never do it is not helping. Or that you'll do it next week is not helping. So, yeah.
You will convince yourself of anything that you tell yourself repeatedly. And if you actually pay attention to the words that come out of your mouth or run through your head, they are most likely not affirming, to put it kindly.
Yeah.
Most likely not affirming. I can't, I shouldn't, I'm not able, whatever. And it's over and over again.
Which is crazy. That's just, I don't know why society or that's a whole nother conversation. We shouldn't even start.
Yeah. we could rabbit hole it. For sure.
Okay, so, talk about neat.
Yes, let's
I keep saying neat, and people are like, why do you keep saying neat? That's neat.
That's neat.
Neat, nature, neat.
Okay. So how do you start to become less sedentary? Is that really where we started?
Is that the title of this podcast? Shocker, we got off topic.
I think we can circle it back around. Let's see what we can do here. How do you become less sedentary so that you can slowly convince yourself that you're worth the efforts? See?
Maybe we should title the podcast that.
Yep. Okay, so I'll let you talk a little bit about just strength training in general because I do still believe, we're sitting here talking about exercise and exercise isn't enough, but damned if exercise is still not important, especially strength training, especially strength training. So I'll let you talk about that part. NEAT, what is NEAT? NEAT stands for, it is an acronym, non-exercise activity, thermogenesis. It's just a fancy way of saying burning calories by moving, essentially. So it's the calories that you burn outside of exercise. All the other activities that you do throughout the day, just getting up and moving from point A to point B, or grabbing your pen or whatever, like all of that. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this. One way that I used to do it, which was pretty fun, it's more challenging for me to do in this apartment, but it was pretty easy, pretty fun to do. Although I could still do it. So I would pick in a day's time, I had like three or four exercises, and then I picked a total number of reps that I wanted to complete of each one of those exercises in a day's time. I don't remember exactly what they were, but I can probably make it up off the top of my head. I think it was like 1 get up, 10 pull-ups, 100 squats, and
Probably like 50 push-ups.
50
would be my
push-ups.
guess. There's no way their push-ups weren't in there.
Yeah, 50 push-ups and something else. So I picked, 3 to 5 exercises, and then I picked a number that I wanted to complete within a day's time. Okay? So that means every once in a while I had to stop and do some amount of that exercise. If I had to do 100 squats in a day, then if I stop 10 times throughout the day and do 10 squats, then I get to my 100, right? So that was fun because just you kind of get to track it, and you get to see, how you can get there. The other way you can do this, which is probably more efficient for most people, is set a 25-minute timer, and whenever that timer goes off, get your ass out of that chair and do something, at least for 2 to 5 minutes, at least 2 minutes, but doesn't need to be more than 5. And that something can be anything. It can be squats, it can be push-ups, it can be walking in circles around your desk, it can be just some yoga stuff, it can be walk to the, my mind just wants to tell you to do some level of exercise, but it doesn't have to be that. It can just be get up and walk to something.
Walk to the water cooler.
Walk to the
grab
water
a drink
cooler.
of water and then walk back.
Grab a drink of water.
Also
Like, go
get a
talk
glass
to a
of water.
person. Like, yeah. Go talk to a person. Come back. That kind of thing. Like, if you want to raise your standards, which I would argue everybody listening to this needs to raise their standards in their health especially. If you want to do that, then every time you get up, do something vigorous. Like, do something vigorous, because you need to tell your body that it needs to stay alive. And if you don't raise your heart rate, you're just constantly telling it that it can die at any time, essentially. Poison. Hence poison. So that is, and the beauty of NEAT is that you're basically spreading movement out throughout the day, which is what you talked about in the beginning of this. Exercise is important. Yes, that is correct. But you could literally take that 45 minutes of exercise that you plan to do and put it in 10-minute increments throughout the day and literally get the same exact result.
Yeah.
If not better. Like, it probably would be a little better. Not a little, like it would be better. Your body, your musculoskeletal system would be better. Probably from a biological level, it would be pretty similar, but from a musculoskeletal level, it would be significantly better because you'd be moving more often.
Yeah, and getting up and...
Yes. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why NEAT is so important, because it.
Oh, come on. Because NEAT is so neat.
I'm not there. Sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't. I wasn't there on that one.
Come on.
It's only on stupid sex puns.
All right, carry on. Why is NEAT so important?
Drop the ball. Because of the movement throughout the day. Because you're telling your body at a regular interval that it needs to burn calories, that it needs to increase output, if you will. Again, if you just sit and you stay at a steady level for hours at a time, you're telling your body it doesn't need to burn calories. It doesn't need to work hard. It can die at any time. That's literally what you're telling your body, which is why, quote unquote, metabolism slow down as you age. That's not the case. It is the case that you sit too damn much. Tell your body it needs to burn calories. Tell your body it needs to be alive. Tell your body it needs to move. Tell your body those things need to happen. Then you will start to see mega changes, and there's no doubt about that. So that's, like I said, that's neat. I think either one of those options is a great option. Kind of changing back and forth would be fun, but that is option number one, or that's what I would say is not level one, but layer number one. Layer number two would then be exercise.
Yep. So before we move on to exercise, I'm just gonna throw this out there, and we'll attempt to keep it brief. But so you just talked about NEAT, and someone says, but Jerry, I work in a giant office with a bunch of cubicles and a bunch of people, and if I get up and just start doing walking lunges down the walkway, you know that's what people are thinking, though.
I know.
Because it's embarrassing or whatever.
Get over yourself. Get over yourself.
And you'd be surprised if you know.
People will follow you.
Right. If you know why you're doing it and you have a reason to do it, it's the first level of believing in yourself and understanding it's important for you and your family and anybody that loves you because you're going to live longer. Mm. Other people will see it, and it's most likely those people will probably judge you because they also wish they were doing it. And eventually one person will be either ask you, why are you doing that, or something, and then it'll slowly trickle, but it's not going to start unless you start it. Mm. And that's another thing how I feel like society is I did a presentation at Maine Maritime for all of my athletes, and we were talking about...
Maine Maritime is one of the colleges she built a gym for. Yes, a gym for. Mm-hmm. And then gave it to him and then left. Built it for him and left. Anyway, go on. As on top of her athletic training job, by the way, she was there as an athletic trainer and just decided, I'm going to do this too. Hey, you guys mind if I build this? Anyway, go on. What were you saying?
I was saying I was presenting to all the athletes about essentially changing the stigma around how, and this is, again, college athletes, but it really applies to everybody. I just talked about how you are sitting in the dining hall or whatever, and you see somebody with a giant salad and chicken and whatever, and everyone's first instinct is to judge them. Be like, oh, you're always eating healthy, all this stuff. So negativity. Or if someone chooses not to drink, oh, you're such a buzzkill. You're bringing down the mood because you're not drinking. Maybe they don't want to drink because they know it's bad for you. Maybe they don't want to drink because it makes them feel crappy, or they have a 6 a.m. workout that they want to show up for. Maybe they don't drink because their family has a history of alcoholism and they don't want to see you don't know their story. So, why do you go to bed so early? Stay up late with us. No. All of those things are healthy choices that these people are trying to make, and yet the majority of people are giving them crap for it because why? That is
because they won't do it themselves.
And that's why everybody is the way they are right now, because everyone judges everybody because they don't want to do it themselves. So it just takes that one person, be that one person in that one cubicle to start doing it. And then who knows, you guys have freaking a bell system, and bell goes off and everyone does an exercise for a minute. Hire me at your corporate job. I will show up in the air horn it, and every hour I'll walk into your office and air horn, and that means you have to go do something. But I know that's what a lot of people are thinking. And I know, and whether you work in an office job or you do anything, people are going to judge you regardless. And that's another thing I tell my athletes all the time, and which is just really horrible. But it is what it is, and that's how society is now.
But who gives a fuck?
He's saying you should try not to. That's what he meant by that. Because it is easy to say that, but it is very hard for people to do that.
Sure, I've done it my whole life, so it is easier for me to just not care.
So eventually we all have gone through that. We are currently going through it, maybe with different things and whatever. But I understand that the majority of people don't exercise or get up from their desks and do that sort of thing. The majority of people don't choose the healthier lunch of the buffet or whatever. So it's just going to be this endless cycle of following everybody else. So if you can just muster up the strength and block off the people and just try to be that one person and understand and truly believe why you're doing it and understand why you're doing and why you are doing what you're doing, because if people ask you, you will have the confidence saying, this is why I'm doing this, because I know it's going to be better. Keep it short and sweet. And then that person immediately is going to be like, oh, maybe I should be doing that. And then hopefully they get over the fact they're like, oh, Susie, she's probably going to think I'm just copying her. So just invite people to do it with you. And she'll be like, hey, I'm doing this. And they might say like, no, that's stupid. And be like, all right. Joke's on you. Which they don't realize maybe at that moment, but like in a couple of years, the joke will be on them. So yeah, I would imagine some people are thinking that, and it is hard to be that one other person. But if we can all just start changing the stigma around eating healthy and exercising and being like, oh, you just work out all the time. Okay, well, we do, but it's mainly just because we like it. And if you don't like strength training or you don't like biking or whatever, okay, go take a Zumba class. Like, I don't like Zumba, but some people do. And if that's the way that you're going to exercise, then great for you. Like, find something that you enjoy, because if you're only doing it because you hate it, going back to what I said before, then you're just stressed about going it, and your stress is, the point of exercise is to try to reduce stress, and we're already too stressed about everything else. So find a way to enjoy it. So I guess that's a good segue into exercise. Did that on purpose.
Well done.
I'm so good at this.
Well played.
So exercise, we are going to talk about resistance training and strength training being the number one thing. If you do anything for the rest of your life, find a way to work resistance training and strength training into your routine. This is another thing. I've been very fortunate. My mom will literally strength train. She'll be buried with a dumbbell probably.
At least one.
At least one, if not a set of 20s.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, my mom has been weight training for a long time. I literally grew up in the gym. My mom would take us to the gym and put us down and work out, and we'd just be like sitting there. But she found a way to get it in. So yeah, so strength training, you can do it up until eternity. Your dad is a great example.
Yep.
Your dad is how
82,
yep.
And
you would look at him and be like, not guess he's 82. And strength training, I think the other piece of resistance training, strength training, whatever, is people think that it involves all these like big heavy weights and all, but resistance training is just putting your body against something that is resistive. So if that's bands, if that's your own body weight for some people, it's literally just challenging your body and your muscles to work against something resistive. So when you think about strength training, it's not just you have to go to this big giant gym and have all of these equipment and squat and hinge and all this stuff with as much weight as possible. Eventually maybe you get there, but as long as you're constantly pushing yourself to be better. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you have maybe you're starting with body weight, and then that starts getting easy, it's not as challenging. Then you pick up 1 5-pound weight. Okay, it's kind of getting a little more challenging. All right, now the 5-pound weight. And then you got to go up to 2 5-pounds. So as long as you're progressively adding more, and that challenge has to continue to go up. And you can kind of maintain for a little bit, but you always have to challenge whatever that new baseline is for yourself.
If you want to continue to get results,
yeah,
you have to progress something.
Right.
To progress something.
Yeah. So whether that's weight or time under tension or the length that you're doing
reps.
Something or the intensity that you're doing something or reps. And it also keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Because I get it, doing the same thing over and over and over again can be boring. But like Jared was just saying, if you have say you have 5 exercises that you do every day. And so squat, hinge, push, pull, carry.
Bam.
So you do those every day and you find a new way to do them every day, then you know you're at least getting some sort of resistance training in. You're doing it differently, so it's not monotonous and boring, but you know that you're hitting all of those things. And that's a great place to start, at least. But having some sort of program and progressively and seeing the changes, that's the other thing. When people start seeing changes, whether it's physically or whether it's mentally, or if it's just, now I can walk up and down the stairs and I'm not breathing heavy. Like, those are the things that's going to help motivate you. But the problem is most people don't get there before they give up. Because that's not going to happen literally after one day, which is what most people would like.
Or 6 weeks.
Or 6 weeks.
Average person quits about 6 weeks.
You just got to get to like 8.
Just keep
literally,
going.
it's like 6 weeks in one day.
Yeah, you just had to make it one more day, and you would have been there. 6-pack would have been right there.
Yeah.
One more day.
So understand, when you're looking at people that have been exercising for a while, or even people that just start out, everyone is going to progress at a different rate. So some people might in 6 weeks see these giant changes and they're doing the exact same thing you're doing, which can be uber frustrating. I see it at the college level all the time. I was actually at the college level. I weight trained before I went as a freshman. And so I already kind of established my baseline at that point of weight training. And all the rest of the freshmen in my class were making these huge gains and lifting all this weight. And I was just kind of like hanging out and I'm like, what the heck? Like, but everyone is going to progress at a different level. Literally just do it. And try to drop your ego out the door. Like, and understand what you are doing at any level matters. Because it's going to benefit you. It might not look the same or it might not feel the same as John, Paul, and Mary next to you, but it will make a difference. And eventually you will hit that kind of like, whoo, like huge change. But it just might take a little bit longer than you perceive it to be. Which, again, most people are like, all right, it's been a couple weeks. Like, what's going on? Just know, even if you don't physically see a change, internally there is good things happening to you, which is what we're trying to say. Like, exercise doesn't always have to be about the way you look. It can make a huge difference internally, and vice versa. Just because someone looks jacked and looks really good does not mean that they are a healthy individual at all, which can be kind of hard to swallow sometimes. You're just like, oh, that person, there's no way that person's not healthy. Well, you don't know that. They look good on them, but how long are they going to live? So understanding that your journey is going to be different, and find a way to enjoy strength training, whatever that looks like to you. Try something. If you don't like it, that's fine. Pitch it. Move on to something else. You still got the exercise at that day, that time. So you have to enjoy what you're doing. And that's a big piece. Do the exercise because you want to, not because your doctor told you to. Or the news told you to, or whatever. Do it because you want to, and you know it's going to better your life and your family's life.
Yep. And while that all feels like a lot, we literally just told you that if you want to be healthy, all you really got to do is move often and weight train. Yeah. Simple. Not easy.
If most people just changed that, I'd be curious to see if someone was starting at, even if, their diet wasn't the best or whatever, if you just changed moving more in the day, I'd be curious to see how their life changed. Like you're saying, just like once an hour, get up for 2 to 3 minutes and just see how you feel differently. Literally, so say you're at work for 8 hours, so 2 minutes every hour, that's 16 minutes. We'll say 15 minutes. You're doing something for an extra 15 minutes. You're already at work, so you're kind of getting paid for it.
Bonus.
Hey, you're getting paid. Yeah, when you put it like that, don't have time for it. Well, you're already at work and you're already.
Might as well get paid to work out.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'd be curious. 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. Seriously.
I bet the productivity at work would go up too.
I would be certain that the productivity at work would go up.
Because I think
100% positive.
early on, just being more active, you're probably, especially like he's talking about with NEAT and just being more active, you're not going to see a lot of the physical changes maybe right away. But I bet mentally, that stuff probably will happen
Quick.
1 or 2 days.
Yeah, pretty quick.
If not within the hour.
Yep, pretty quick.
So the physical stuff, I understand, can be very, very frustrating. And if you truly want to make the changes, like you said, you have to choose to make the changes and make the changes. But just moving throughout the day, or if you're able, go outside. The 2 minutes could be walking outside and then walking back inside. Even just that little bit of fresh air. I'd be curious to see how your day changes. Especially, desk jobs, it's just monotony, right? You're sitting, you're on a computer. It's another way to just make your job more entertaining. And maybe you enjoy that. That's great. But if you can add a little variety to your day, you might as well add it with some exercise.
No doubt. Okay. Moral of the story? Get up and move and go move some damn weights around.
Yep.
Yeah?
Eh?
Yeah? Okay. That's that. I think there were some other good things in there too. Somewhere.
I think we might have ranted for a little bit on something.
Did we? Yeah.
I don't think we rarely ever do that though.
Yeah.
So this is a special episode.
It is. Yes.
We got off topic. Very odd. Very different.
Very unusual. You enjoy it. Okay. Now that you're done listening to this, go move something.